based intranets. And so, of course, as we were discussing, how could we internally collaborate? Then the question came up, why don't we redo our own intranet? And at that point, I rolled my eyes and I said, look, if we try to crack our own intranet, we'll all be out of a job in 6 months. It's like, we'll get mired in our own company politics, we'll argue about it, we'll try to make it perfect, it'll never launch, it'll never go anywhere. And then someone in the room, and I wish it was me, but it wasn't. It was someone else who said, why don't we, and this was back in 2005, why don't we just take Wikipedia and bring that into our enterprise? Why don't we create our own equivalent of Wikipedia? And I had a long list of reasons of why that would fail. And it started with the fact that as soon as you have anyone being able to edit your page, we'd have vandalism on the internet. As soon as you had, the CEO writing someone else, and everyone else would be too scared to respond. And I had this wonderful list of reasons why it would fail. Fortunately, again, we still decided to go ahead with it and put my concerns to one side. So we launched a wiki built on the Wikipedia platform, using MediaWiki, with the goal, quite simply, a very basic objective. Let's get people to share information. But we also recognize that at the end of the day, in an enterprise, when we're working, we have jobs to do. We want to get ahead in our lives. We compete with the guys who sit next to each other. I, as an employee, am not always motivated to share information. In fact, I rarely am motivated. I'm never compensated on how much I share or how many ideas I give to the organization. It's really how much I impress my boss and my clients. Quite simple. So the question was, how can we create a tool that would encourage people to share, where they would feel safe sharing, and where they would also get the benefits out of it? Because if you don't think hard about those two motivations, you can set up a wonderful intranet, you can set it up on Facebook, you can set it up on some other tool, but the conversation will only go so far. Once people have gotten to know each other, they go back to their email inboxes, they go back to their close, narrow, trusted circle of friends, that inner concentric circle as Paul referred to. So to try and think about this differently, we thought, maybe if we think about this as a marketplace of ideas, where by virtue of contributing an idea, you can expect and do get something in return. But not just that, not just a marketplace of ideas, but also truly a social zone, where you develop and create political capital by how much you share. And by what you share doesn't have to be tied to your job or the immediate task at hand. It has to be more broadly set about, in the context of your life. So what I mean by that is, if I were to sort of sketch out the homepage of our wiki, one of the most popular features is something quite simple. It's, firstly, how many of you are familiar with Delicious? Great, you're a good audience. Now, imagine you're going on the web and you find, a really interesting article, and you're a Delicious user, and you want to bookmark it so that you can come back to it. It's a great resource. You bookmark it, it's in your profile, you've remembered it, and it helps your business. Now, imagine if, when you bookmarked it, you bookmarked it with an additional tag, and that additional tag meant that that link automatically showed up on the wiki. So just imagine how simple that is. You're going about your world, you're bookmarking things, you're reading interesting things, and you're adding this one extra tag. And by virtue of adding that tag, I'm not asking you to use a new tool or to learn something or to come to my internet and do something with it. Go use Delicious, but you add this extra tag and automatically it appears in the wiki. That alone was the single most popular feature, because we very quickly got a pulse of what was interesting to people, what they were reading, and what they felt was important to share. What's interesting is, each time it appeared right on the home page, it served as a reminder that, oh, this person's active in this topic, and they're bookmarking these items. What that meant was, everyone else started to look at that person as an expert. So really, by virtue of exposing people's own inherent social behaviors, we started to discover who were the experts. People realized that, oh wow, this is a way to get famous in the organization as an expert in something, by really contributing and sharing their greatest insights. So they were getting, an ROI in terms of making that investment. and it served as a big win-win situation. And that was just one feature on the wiki. Another example of that is we did the same thing with Flickr, where you go photograph things, you speak at conferences or attend conferences, you photograph it, you go to an office party, you photograph it. That too you could tag, and it would automatically appear on the home page of the wiki. So the interesting thing is, rather than thinking about the wiki as a traditional knowledge hub where everyone's encouraged to put their PowerPoint documents, we said, just add these 1 or 2 tags to everything else that you're doing in the social web, which you're already doing. It'll automatically appear on the wiki, everyone else will see it, and everyone else will get benefit from it. So that's how we blurred the lines between what you do in the broader web and what benefits you were getting internally, what the company was getting internally with these things appearing in the wiki. The other interesting thing that with this whole wiki-based internet that developed was everyone was paranoid about, okay, I create a page, what if someone edits it, and what if someone vandalizes it, These things can happen. We've seen them happen on Wikipedia, there have been great stories, all of that stuff. What we often forget, and what I feel is such a pity, is that we do not trust our fellow peers and our fellow employees enough. Meaning to say that when you hire someone into your organization, you trust them to meet a certain level of decorum or a certain level of professionalism. Apparently, when it comes to the internet and when it comes to the wiki, you assume that they're out to vandalize it. And granted, I'm worried about that, on day one. The truth is, if people are professional in your office, walking down the hallways, in conference rooms, in meetings, over email, they'll just be as professional on a wiki where you can, submit content and edit someone else's. And we very quickly found that it applied as well. So basically what we did was we created a wiki. It was a grassroots effort. All the wrong people started contributing to it, and what I mean by all the unexpected people. And it was the ones who realized that their social capital increased the most by contributing to it. And we made it really easy for them to contribute by saying, just add a tag here, add a tag there, integrating it and really leveraging or sort of building on the external brands of products like Flickr and Delicious and others. So that's how we brought it to life.
So it's very interesting. Again,